Start your week with a triple shot of good vibes. This is the Project Joy podcast. I'm your host, Jessica Dugas. Thanks for joining me. Good Monday morning, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Project Joy Live. I'm your host, Jessica Dugas, and I'm super excited to be here with you for another episode today. As always, if you are joining us in the comments on Facebook, YouTube, or over here on TikTok, good morning, everybody. Make sure that you comment below, say hello, give me your name, where you're joining from, and also don't forget to share what is bringing you joy today, you guys, because that is the point. That's the point, to start your week off right with that triple shot of good vibes, start your Monday off right. And my goal is to make it so that everybody that's watching this show stop saying the phrase Mondays suck, because they don't if you don't want them to. That is the whole point of being here today. Don't forget, you guys, in the middle section of the show, I will take call-ins or click-ins, as I call it. Just go to projectjoypodcast.com and click join live to share a moment of joy or gratitude live on air. So I want to share a couple things really quickly about that. Number one, you don't have to be on air a long time. Literally, you can come on and say, this is what's bringing me joy or gratitude today, and then you're done, and I'll kick you off the screen. You also do not have to be on video. When you go to click that link, when you go to projectjoypodcast.com and you click the join live button, it's going to take you over here to my StreamYard green room in the background, and you just can simply turn off your video. You don't even need to be on video, and you can just have your voice come through. So if you're worried about bedhead, you're in your bathrobe, whatever it is, you don't even have to be on video. You can just be on voice. So I just wanted to remind you guys of those couple things. I always would love to welcome you onto the show and say good morning to you. And also, the more that we are in this space of sharing what brings each of us joy or gratitude together, the more that we can bring others into this space, and we stay more in that vibe throughout the day. So I need to go over to the comments really quickly and say good morning to all of the people that are joining us today. First up, we have Deedle, yeehaw, happy Monday from Chad Chester Collins. Good morning, good morning. We have that's Cheryl Green over there at the Academy of Piano, heading home. Good morning, Miss Cheryl. Good to see you. It is early in your neck of the woods, my friend, or maybe it's late for you. Maybe that's what heading home means. We have Judith Finneran, one of our fabulous guests from season 5 of the Breakthrough Show, and she's also appeared on Project Joy several times. Good morning, Judith. Good to see you. We have Fallen Night here. Mondays are not real, but they are, my friend. They are real. And Jester is just, reiterating, Mondays no suck. You understand? Dr. Miriam is here this morning. Good morning, my friend. Monday is an opportunity to make a difference. Absolutely agree. 100%. Brian Tracy is here this morning, ladies and gentlemen, on the road. Brian, where are you joining us from today? Are you still in Florida, and where are you headed next? Those are my questions today. And don't forget, my friends over here on TikTok, let me know where you're joining from as well and what's bringing you joy, and I can share it also. My dad is here again this morning, you guys. Greg Cushing, good morning. Wishing you much joy as well. He's saying he loves Mondays because it's another chance to make a difference in someone's life. Absolutely agree. So, you want to know truthfully what's bringing me joy today? Let's talk about what's bringing Jessica joy today. It's the fact that I don't have to eat cake this week. Now, I know what you're saying, Jessica, you love some cake, and I do. But this is birthday season here in the Dugas household, and we have 4 birthdays in a month and Father's Day. If you want to extend it a little bit, a month and a half, there's also Mother's Day in there too. That's a lot of cake, people, because you might go, well, you don't have to have cake for mother and father. Yes, you do. But I'm grateful that there's literally nothing this week. Nothing this week until next Sunday. And then Monday finishes our last 2 birthdays of the month. But for those of you guys that are on TikTok and that have been on my Facebook, you must have seen the cake that my daughter made for her 14th birthday. It was a rainbow cake, vegan, of course, but had all the colors. It had sprinkles. It has a whole everything you can think of, and it was so sweet. And I'm just sitting here, as little as I had of that cake, I'm going, thank God I don't have to eat cake this week. Would you ever think that such a phrase would, 1, come out of my mouth, or 2, would bring me joy? That's my question. That's my question for you. Brian's in Tulsa, Oklahoma today. The truck is going in the shop. It's going to be a sucky. No, it's not a sucky Monday. It's an expensive Monday, but it's not a sucky Monday because you're here and spending time with us today. Chad Jester Collins is a Gemini too. Tons of fun. It's a lot. It's a lot. I have 4 of my children are on the Gemini spectrum, so it might as well be 8. Amen. Amen. It's a fun time around here. So I'm thankful that I don't have to eat the cake this week, and I get a little bit of a break. I have noise coming from my computer, and I don't know where it's coming from. There we go. I found me. I was talking to myself. Do you guys believe that? I do. Anyway. You guys, squirrel moment. Is it a Monday without squirrels? No, it's not. Oh my God, that cake was so beautiful. Will your daughter make me one for my birthday? I'm sure she would love to. That's eventually we're looking at maybe getting a little marketplace and selling some of the goodies, and because there's not a lot of, there's no vegan restaurants here at all, or let alone bakeries. So we would love to bring that to the people. I think it would be a lot of fun. Yes, it's talkback feedback. You couldn't hear it, but I could, which means that I couldn't hear myself, which is a problem. Yes, hallelujah. That's right. Brian likes to have his cake and eat it too. I typically do as well. I love some cake, but I will tell you what, I'm just not today. Not today. I'm over the cake. I need to do some sit-ups or something. Anyway, here we are. So that's something that's really bringing me joy this morning. I would love to know what are things that are bringing you joy this morning. And don't forget, you guys can go to projectjoypodcast.com and click the little button in the middle of the screen that says join me live or join live. And you can join us live on air. If you don't want to be on video, you just click the little video button as you're coming in, and it can just be your voice. And that's it. Though I would really love to see your pretty face. I'm just saying. So we are going to take a quick break, you guys, and we're going to come back and continue our series that we've been talking about the 8 things that contribute to happiness, 8 factors of happiness. It was a study out of Duke University on happiness, and we've been going over the 8 things. We talked about number 1 last week. Today, we're talking about number 2, and we're going to be back in just a minute, I think. I have to find a good place to set my phone. There we go. There we go. You guys over on TikTok get some mic view, but that's okay. That's okay. Now I can actually see my screen. There we go. Really quickly before we go, Brian Tracy didn't get a cake on his birthday. Well, that's because you didn't come visit us, Brian. That's it right there. Chad Jester Collins, some enjoy cake by the ocean, whereas we enjoy cake by the barn. I love that song, by the way, and now it's going to be stuck in my head. So thank you so much for that, Chester. Factor number 1 is not cake on your birthday, but we're going to dig into that in just a minute, you guys. We're going to be right back for more of Project Joy Live. Hang tight.
Hi, my name is Brandon, and over the past year, the Deloitte Cafe team and I traveled across the U.S. researching this rapidly growing industry of CBD products. What we have found throughout the industry were products that were inconsistent in dosage and used ingredients that weren't even lab tested. Products with chalky textures, bitter aftertaste, and worst of all, confusion among the CBD consumers. That's why we created Delight Cafe. A 15 milligram lab-tested, all-natural, water-soluble hemp CBD powder pack. It's odorless, colorless, and tasteless. Add it to your favorite drink of choice, wherever, whenever, on the go. Quickly find your calm, your balance, and your delight when you need it most.
Welcome back to Project Joy Live. I'm your host, Jessica Dugas, and I'm super excited to be here with you again for another fabulous Project Joy Live. I'm so thankful that all of you are here this morning. And I have to go back to Brian's comment about factor one being cake on your birthday. That could definitely be a factor for happiness, but it is not part of the study. I feel like Duke University did not even look at that. And so shame on Duke University for that. But we are talking about the 8 factors of happiness in the next couple of months. And while we are talking about this, don't forget one more reminder. You can go to projectjoypodcast.com and click the join live button and join us live on air for a moment of joy or gratitude. If you don't want to be on camera, just click the little camera button and you can do that as well. For those of you guys that are on TikTok, if you want to hear the other side of the conversation, you can go to the Breakthrough Show Network on Facebook and also the Breakthrough Show on YouTube. And it's on 8 million or 300 plus million streaming devices through E360 TV as well. But Facebook and YouTube is the easiest thing for me to share in the moment. So Duke University did a study on happiness. And last week we talked about lack of suspicion and resentment being number one. Lack of suspicion and resentment. Duke University said nursing a grudge was a major factor in unhappiness. So really struggling, if you're struggling to find happiness in your life, which we know correlates to joy, we talked a little bit about that last week, ask yourself, are you nursing a grudge or are you spending a lot of your time anxious and suspicious? Those things can really add into unhappiness, of course, decreasing happiness. So today, the number 2 point or factor from Duke University was not living in the past. Duke University says preoccupation with past mistakes and failures lead to depression. So this is really interesting. And I think something that really ties in so much to joy, as we've talked about over the last 2 years of doing this show, is that being present is a huge factor in being joyful. And so when we spend way too much time in the past or in the future, those things can really bring our happiness level down when we're not being present in the moment. So, but being present can be a really difficult thing if we are not experiencing joy right now. Our nature, I think, is to get out of the present. So we start being really nostalgic and thinking about old times, or we think about what things will be like when the time is over instead of really appreciating and being present in the moment. And I really want to acknowledge how difficult that can be to be present in the moment when things are not going your way. If you are dealing with pain, if you have negative money in your bank account, if you are being abused, if you are, of course, you're going to look at that and go, how am I supposed to be joyful right now? And that was really highly recommend that you guys go back and listen to some of the podcast episodes from last year, from 2020, because I went over every single week, 52 different places, ways that we can find joy. When we look at grief, when we look at sadness, how can we find joy in those things? And it's very much like I talked about, like with the cake thing. A cake usually brings me joy, but because I've had so much of it lately, not having cake is bringing me joy right now. So we are able to find the joy in things and the happiness in things that, not necessarily happiness, but we can find the joy in things that are quote unquote negative to some people if we choose to see it. So going back to the topic, not living in the past, preoccupation with past mistakes and failures lead to depression. I think a lot about in the personal development community, we meet a lot of coaches. Good morning, Miss Ford. Good to see you today. Happy Monday. Look at the sunshine. So in the personal development and spiritual development community, we meet a lot of coaches, right? And you also can meet some therapists, but it's a huge coaching community. And a lot of times there are some thoughts about when is it appropriate to have a therapist? When is it appropriate to have a coach? When is it appropriate to not have either one? I think both of them would probably tell you no time is it appropriate to have either one, that everybody needs some guidance in their life, some objective guidance, as opposed to how we don't really have any perspective other than our own when it's our situation. So when we look at the coaching thing, the coaching is really focused on present. I have not met a coach yet, unless we're talking about hypnotherapy, that really focuses on all of the stuff that's happened in the past. It's when we look into therapy, that's when we're sort of reliving over and over the things that we've gone through. Now, traditional psychotherapy definitely has its place. I don't want to knock that at all, because I do think that it is necessary sometimes. In my situation, there have been times when I have gone to a therapist and I have felt like it's actually done me more harm than good, than to live in this space of rehashing all of the things that I have ever been through. It was a lot for me to do that. And it wasn't something, I think if I had never shared those things before, it would have been helpful. But at the time, I had shared about what I had been through, and now here I am, stereotypically laying on the chaise lounge in the therapist's office, having to rehash everything that I had been through again. And while it can be helpful to go over things, to especially if memories are foggy, if there's healing that needs to be done on some level. But for the most part, when we relive things that have happened in the past over and over and over again, it really does make our energy focus on the past mistakes, failures, and all of the things that have been wrong in the past. And so when the vast majority of our time and energy is spent on that, of course, that's going to seep into today, and it's going to seep into our happiness. It's going to seep into our joy. I want to look over at the comments really quickly. Brian saying cake is a lot like coffee, but completely different. I would agree. And then Cheryl saying yes. And then Cheryl saying, and then for your experiences to be discounted, dismissed, and minimized can be detrimental. That it really goes into, I was thinking about this yesterday. It really goes into some of the conversation that we've had about human need to be acknowledged and heard. If we feel acknowledged and heard, then we are less likely to spend time dwelling on the things that have happened, because we've been acknowledged and heard. But that also depends on the people and how each person feels acknowledged and heard. Sometimes we generalize, and Cheryl knows I talked to her a little bit about this yesterday privately. I have been doing a lot of work with myself to stop generalizations. And because I think that they're really detrimental to our personal growth, our happiness, our joy. And what I mean by that is, for example, like I've talked about with you guys on Mondays, specifically, Brian Tracy, I'm calling you out. When we have one thing that is going wrong, or one thing that we're struggling with, one thing that we're challenged with, and we lump it all together and we say, Mondays suck. So is it Monday that sucks, or is it that moment that sucks? Is it the person that screwed up your order at the fast food drive-through? Is it that thing that sucked, or is it the whole day that sucked? Is it there's another prime example of this is when we talked about 2020. So many people said 2020 sucked and they just lumped it all in together. We do that with groups of people as well, which ties into the conversation we've been having behind the scenes about choosing unity with the Breakthrough Show. Is it that people suck, or is it that, certain relationships haven't been great for you? Is it that no one's listening? Or is that it just some people aren't listening? Can we manage to shift our focus to the places that we are being acknowledged, heard, appreciated, understood? Can we shift our focus to that? Is it easy to do? No. Does it take away from the fact that there are some people that don't listen and hear and all of that? No, to that too. But what if we could shift our focus and our energy to the present and to the people, that are paying attention, that are listening, that are there for us, that are present. I have to check really quickly, you guys, because I have someone that says that they are behind the scenes in Project Joy, but I am not seeing them there. So I see your message, Tim, if you can hear me, if you're watching the show. And I want, so apparently there's an issue with my site. If y'all will just give me a moment, there are people trying to come on and say hello and they cannot. So give me just half a moment here, half a moment. I'm going to check this out, but let me know you guys' thoughts on being present and in the moment and how much you think that ties into joy, and how many of you have struggled with before with living in the past, and how does that impede on your level of happiness or joy? One of the things that comes to my mind with this whole topic of living in the moment and all of that is that when we had in season 1, Miha Matlievsky on the show, who is a fail coach, Miha Matlievsky is very open about the fact that he has failed numerous times. And it's something that he talks about quite a bit as being a process that he had to work through, where he's failed. He recognized that he's failed, but now he's going to use that as sort of a diving board into the future. And for those of you guys that are trying, can you guys hear me now? Can you hear me now? Sorry about that, you guys. When I think about Miha being on the show, he used the things in the past to be a diving board going into the future. So I think that's where the real value is if we are going to look at past things, if we are going to look at things going on that have been wrong in our past, about things that have gone awry, about things that have upset us and all of that, are we going to then use that information as a diving board into the future? Are we going to use it as inspiration, as motivation to change our lives? And listen, you guys, Brian's over here like, and Monday strikes and the Monday gremlin. And no, it is not Monday. It's me. I clicked the mute button. It's not Monday. It's me. So, but see, that part is what's hard. That part when we have to take on the responsibility of going, it's me. It's hard to do that. It's hard to take that responsibility. Because nobody wants to do that. Who gave the gremlin cake after midnight? I don't know. I don't know. All right, listen, I want to take a minute here and share some more joy or gratitude with some of our friends that jump on by request, ladies and gentlemen. First up, we have Brandon. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Air Bear Brandon is here, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, he's not awake yet.
Me neither.
The dogs are like, they didn't sleep well last night. And I don't know if they like got bit by a bug or something, but they were licking themselves all night. So it's the most disgusting sound to me now. All I hear and I'm like, stop, go away. It's disgusting.
There's weird stuff happening in the middle of the night, okay? Because yesterday I woke up and I've got this like there. You can't see it as much right now, but it's really dark. There's a bruise here.
Yeah.
And I'm like, am I beating myself up in the middle of the night? What am I doing? I don't thank God for a little bit of makeup. Otherwise, I'd be coming on here looking a little bit rough this morning.
People be calling it Top Line Phil.
Well, see, that's what Jester was talking about this morning on TikTok. He was like, you know, did Phil sneak over to your side in the middle of the night? Like, what's going on? And I'm like, listen, here's the funny thing. I gave this example. We have a king size bed, all right? And this is, well, you know, when you first get together in your relationship and you're like, let's snuggle, let's cuddle all the time. You know what I appreciate now? You know what's better? Sleep.
What? Yeah.
Sleep is better, right?
Yeah.
So we have this king size bed, right? This is a king size bed. Here's my edge of the bed. I sleep right here. Okay. I sleep right there. Philip sleeps right here. All right. And then occasionally, you know why? Because we have PTSD, because for the last however long, here comes a child in the middle of the night. Okay. And notice I'm sleeping right here on the edge of the bed and my child right here. Do you understand? You understand? She has all of this room and she's right here. So if y'all want to know why I wake up with bruises on my face, that's why. Okay, listen, I have to bring somebody else on really quick because we're gonna hype up this party. No.
Oh, okay.
You're gonna stay there, Brandon. Don't move. All right, listen, I gotta invite this other guy on because I've actually been wanting you guys to meet really badly.
Okay.
Okay, you ready? Ladies and gentlemen, Tim Hodgkiss.
Woo! What's going on, everybody? Good morning.
Good morning. This is the Care Bear that I have been talking about.
How are you doing, brother? You're like a brother from another mother. I mean, I have Care Bears. Oh my God, here it is. Say hello. Say hello to my little within arm's reach. You know, like, yeah. I mean, seriously.
Is that my Care Bear that you haven't put in the mail yet, Brandon? Is it though?
Hold on. Oh, I can't remove myself from the screen for the joke. I can't.
That's so incredible.
I love it. Well, listen, good morning to both of you and happy Monday. And I'm glad you finally made it on, Tim. So I want to start. Let's start with Brandon. Brandon, what is bringing you joy today other than wearing your onesie for all of us?
This morning, what's bringing me joy is my team. My team has worked really hard lately. They've been putting together a lot of good things, and we have a big trip next week. And I honestly, they've been diving in head first, and we've been knocking things out. So I'm joyful that they see the work that's ahead of us, and they took it seriously, like very seriously. So I'm grateful for that.
I love it. I love it. All right. And Tim, what's bringing you joy this morning?
Oh, change, the power of change, the power to take a hold of the ship, of the steering wheel, and drive it wherever you want. And today, you know, after this, when I go into work, there's going to be some change at my job, and I'm looking forward to it. Whereas in the past, I would be hesitant. I would be kind of, oh, I'm unsure, but I'm jumping in and ready to just run with it. So change today.
Yeah. Well, so both of you guys have big things coming up, whether today or this coming week or next week. And I think that really ties into the conversation we've been having of living more in the present, being able to increase our happiness and joy. Because, you know, I think I've been the same too. When I have something big coming, I've always been the type that just doesn't sleep. I'm like, oh, Christmas is coming. I can't sleep at all. But now it's like, you know, can we just enjoy the moment of going, you know, yes, something big is coming, but then we miss out on today if we're so focused on what happened before and what's coming tomorrow, right? So how do you guys stay more present and in the moment and enjoy right now?
For me, it's just embracing it. In the past, like you said, I would kind of fear, I would be up all night, the anticipation, the trepidation, it would start to build and build into this bigger thing. And it never ever lived up to the drama that I was building in my head that it would be. It was never that painful. It was actually quite the opposite. It was very pleasurable to go through the whole process. So just trusting that this is going to be actually a good thing. It's going to be probably fun. And instead of fearing it, looking forward to it. So I've really just shifted my mindset and how I view these things.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah, absolutely. I think mindset is a huge part of it. And Delights Digital Cafe is asking if you are a 3-star general because of your
Not exactly, but I feel like I'm becoming one for my life. Like if becoming like the CEO finally of my life instead of my life running me, I'm kind of running my life now. So yeah, in a way.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's a good way of looking at that. I like that, Tim.
Thank you,
I like
man.
that a lot. For me, it's I have to be honest. It's one of those things where I have to remind myself daily. Like for real, like over the weekend, I had a lot of work to do and I really was feeling the pressure. And inside I was like, I'm never going to get this done. And then something in me was like, whenever I had a burst of energy, I was like, okay, be in the moment and focus on what you can and set yourself up ahead. So like I do little things that like I really didn't want to do right then. I'd get part of it set up. So like cleaning, I'd move all the cleaning around. And then I'd set up the like screens because I was putting the screens in for my parents' windows over the weekend and stuff. And I'd set them all up. And then it was like I really didn't want to put them in that moment. But the next day when I woke up, I had some energy like after breakfast and was like, all right, everything's already out. Everything's going. It was setting myself up and I was being in the moment and making sure to build to get things done instead of just being like, crap, I got to do all this. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a big part of it too. So we talked about mindset and also getting yourself set up for what's to come, because I think a lot of when we're anticipating something, it's the unknown, right? And that can have fear setting in. And so how can we set ourselves up to not be afraid of what's coming? Even as I've worked with my trainer, shout out to Lisa Peranzo, who,
you said her name wrong.
Oh, well, I can't, F Lisa. We have this whole because we have F Joe that's on Brandon's show Java Delight, and then I lovingly named Lisa, who I never say F Lisa, but it's just funny at this point. But we've looked at like the patterns of some of the things that I've gone through physically, and when they go through this cycle of coming around at different times throughout the year, and to not be afraid of those and set myself up and be ready. So if I know it's coming, I probably need to have some more iron or some more protein or, something in my diet. I need to probably shift what my workout looks like. And so instead of being afraid and go, oh God, I don't want to do this, it's how can I set myself up and be prepared and not be afraid of what's coming as well. So we can really use these, shifting your mindset and being prepared, whether we're talking about our business or our personal life or our fitness or whatever we're working on. I have to say a quick good morning to Mr. Jackson's here. Don't make me start singing to you this morning. I'm sorry, Mr. Jackson. I am for real. You know, that's what we do when Mr. Jackson comes in. Good to see you here this morning, my friend. Everybody's giving Iron Man. Iron Man does not bring me joy, Jester, but whatever you say, that's fine. But so there's so many different things that we can do, I think, to kind of be prepared and make our mindset in a better place when it comes to these things. So when we've been talking about, you guys, the 8 factors of happiness, and we talked about lack of suspicion and resentment. So getting rid of being resentful or nursing a grudge. And then today we're adding in not living in the past, living more for today. Is there anything that you do? Because we're going to eventually get to the other 6 points of this Duke University study that was done. But is there anything that you two can think of that really contributes to when you're happy? How are you happy?
I got to say, I'm mostly happy because I tend to forget the past. There are so many like bad things that people would, qualify as bad, and they would latch onto those. They kind of just pull along. They kind of tug along, as people walk forward. It's kind of like this, this weight that starts to build for a lot of people. And I just tend to forget because I'm so focused on the future, growing, expanding, and doing things that are a little bit challenging, and it allows me to step into my vulnerability. And so I'm so focused on that, I tend to forget the things in the past that, might be for other people, problems or things they're working through. So having a forward-thinking mindset for me keeps me happy,
Yeah, that's a great point. It's a great point. Forward thinking. I like that. Brandon, what about you?
Onesies.
Listen, I'm highly disappointed between Brian Tracy talking about cake this morning and then you talking about onesies. Duke University missed the mark. They didn't look at onesies or cake or Care Bears for that matter. I'm disappointed. Duke University, you think you're so cool and all your education up there,
Yeah.
They're missing it. They're missing it big time, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Hey, listen, Suze is in the building from Creative Revolution over here. Good morning, Suze, or good afternoon to you, my friend, across the pond. Hodgkiss, she says, it's a great surname.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
Love
I was
it.
always kind of embarrassed of it, but I'm really stepping into my power with that name these days, I gotta say.
Yes, y'all. Tim is going to be on the Breakthrough Show coming up this season. We're excited to have him jumping on probably, I think it might be next month. I'll have to look at my schedule and see where I placed you on there, but it's coming soon. And you have a lot of really good points that you've been sharing about, being your authentic self. And I think that part for me has brought me an immense amount of happiness and joy, just allowing myself to be me, unapologetically, good, bad, and indifferent, good days, bad days.
That's
we
so
all have them.
Right.
Whether I'm in a onesie or not, I enjoy myself at this point.
You won't let me mail you a onesie.
Yeah.
I gotta get one of those.
My dad wrote so much we covered up Tim. I have to run to an appointment, but I want to say that I don't dwell on the past because there is nothing I can do to correct my mistakes. I don't worry about the future because things often don't turn out as I imagine they will. That's a huge part, expectation. I do try to make today the best I can, and that brings me joy. Happy Monday to everyone. Chester, the fries are done. Y'all, Tim, you will learn that the people that comment on here are just out of control on Monday morning.
Oh, I appreciate that. I very much like that energy.
Well, Brandon, before I kick your behind out of here, is there anything that you would like to share with the people this week? What do you have coming up on Java this week? Anything good?
Oh my gosh. So we have a couple different guests coming on. This morning's guest is teaching us all about, he's an entrepreneur that has suffered for years. And when he finally broke through, it was like what we're talking about. It's not looking at his past. He used those as stepping stones and all that. And he's written a book. I don't have my cheat sheet of all my notes behind here. I just kind of jumped on and put a onesie on. But we have a bunch of good guests. I know Wednesday night's show has like our booking guy Fernando he's super excited for Wednesday's show. So a lot of good things. I'm excited. You're gonna have to tell me when Tim's on the Breakthrough show. This is
will.
I'm sweating already. Like it's like so warm in this thing. But like you'll have to let me know when Tim's on because I will watch this episode and be more awake so I can participate and have fun and make him laugh. I give you a salute, sir, as general, and thank you for all you do. But no, I'll be watching in the background and all that. And thank you guys for having me on this morning. I hope you all have a great, wonderful morning.
Absolutely, but you forgot the most important thing. I will be on Java Tuesday.
Oh yeah, that too.
But I'm on every Tuesday, so it's kind of like, she's just on every Tuesday.
I was trying to think of something different, and I was like, I don't know where to go.
I gotcha.
I like something different, exciting, because like Jessica, you are the J in the BJ Cafe. Bill is he brings the big D every time he comes by.
He does. He does.
He's the big D in the Dugas family. He's Phil Big D Dugas. And it just anybody that has a perverted mind there, grow up. Like you. All I know is Jessica has if we do the math correctly, over the weekend she's probably had about 37 more kids. Somebody double check my math on that. She's up to 372, and
well, that's jumped a lot since last week.
The math doesn't make sense. Okay,
it doesn't. It's a purple dinosaur plus a red apple equals 37 ducks.
If you want to be wait, so which one of you are the purple dinosaur and which one of you are the red apple? I kind of want Phil to be my purple dinosaur.
I am literally a T-Rex.
You know what? Would you wear one of those T-Rex things that blows up and goes? Wow?
I sure would.
Would you get one of the really high-end ones where it like moves more and like?
I sure would.
Yeah.
But see, I would, because you wouldn't, like, you would literally be like, she's a little more green, but it's the same person. Because I have these little tiny arms and little tiny legs, and I'm a little round, and I just walk around like this. I can't reach anything on a shelf, but I got a little bit of a bite to me. So there's that.
Your spirit animal, huh? It's your spirit animal.
She's the human Rex. She's the Jess Rex.
I am the Jess Rex. That's it. All right, Brandon, get out of here because you have to go get ready for Java.
I do. Tim, pleasure to meet you.
Guys, pleasure to meet you.
Thank you, guys. Have a good one.
Bye, Brandon. All right, you guys. So, Tim.
Hello.
Anything you want to share with the people for this coming week? Any good news? Any announcements? Anything that you want to give people to take home?
For me, the announcement is, hey, everybody, you can get out of your own way, live your best life, and step into your greatness anytime you decide to. It's taken me a lifetime. Literally the last 2 years have been a complete 180 transformation for me. For me to even be on this show I'm going crazy in my head right now.
Who is this guy?
What's going on with this guy? Extreme introvert to more of an extrovert. But it's like you said, being authentic, being open, being honest, and being yourself is so powerful when you can do that outside of the fear of judgment, the fear of whatever it is that's holding you back. When you're comfortable in your own skin, you are so powerful. The world becomes your playground. So that's the joy and the message that I continue to spread. And you know, that's what I try to do on my vlog on YouTube, the Identity Crisis Project. I'll plug that. I love walking around with the camera and seeing if I can get people engaged in conversation out in public. It's so far away from me kind of hiding in the corner, you know, in any sort of social situation. Now I'm just putting myself in those situations, and I'm really realizing I thought people all had it figured out. I thought they're so extroverted, they're so in command, they're so comfortable in their own skin. No, coming from from where I've come from to now, people are really, you know, they are scared. They are hesitant. They are, you know, they don't all have it figured out like I thought. So it's been real interesting.
Yeah. I mean, anytime we're talking about, you know, video or social media or anything like that, I think we see so little. We think we know how people are and what they go through, but we see so little. This is not normal for me to do either. I've done this for 3 years now, but or even longer with doing live video, probably about 5 or 6 years. But this was never something that came easy to me. I still, when I sit down with people to do the interview, my heart's going 800 miles an hour. And, you know, I'm like, what if I say the wrong thing? And even yesterday I recorded a segment with Kevin Kiley for our Pride segment at the end of the month. And I was just so nervous. Like I don't know, because I think sometimes we have high expectations for ourselves and we want things to turn out a certain way. And what if they don't? And what if nobody watches? And what if somebody's mean? And what if? So it's not as easy as we can make it look sometimes. Like we're just here having a conversation, but you don't know, you know, that my hands are clammy and I'm, you know, going like this under my desk, like, you know, I don't want to say the wrong thing kind of thing. So.
Right. And that I was at the extreme side of that, where I would be so paralyzed in fear of that. I wasn't going to say the most perfect thing. I wasn't going to be the smartest person in the room. I wasn't going to look the perfect.
Right.
It just so handcuffed me, you know. And I spent so much time in my head to just release myself with those handcuffs. Give myself the permission to, I'm gonna screw up, but you know what, the version of me that shows up in this moment is the best that I have. And I think that there's a lot of good in me. There's a lot of energy in me. This energy that I'm showing up with was the energy that I was trying to hold back the whole time to fit in.
Right.
Because I didn't want to show anybody these weird things because I didn't think that was perfect.
Yeah. I mean, listen, we say, and it ties in so much to our conversation today. Our number 2 point of happiness, which is not living in the past. Just because that's how we were doesn't mean that's how we are. It doesn't mean that I think we were living in the truth in that moment, but now we can live in the truth of who we are today. And listen, you guys, I have to disagree. So they keep talking about your stars on your hat. And no, I need to go back to where it is. Maybe because if he was giving himself a Yelp review, the hat would have 5 stars. You understand? Not 3 stars, 5 stars. So
no, honestly, this hat just came into my world like everything does. These things they just find me. I'm just a magnet for it. And I don't have the unicorn whale here, but you know, I have a unicorn whale. I have like this little totem. I have all these little things that I've just attracted. This hat came into my life right as I was kind of making this breakthrough for myself, leaving the introverted past and stepping into my power. And I always viewed myself as somebody that wasn't living up to their potential because I was so scared and afraid. And when I saw this hat, it was perfect because I always viewed myself as somebody that's bold, kind of takes chances, even though I was living in fear, I was somebody that viewed themselves as being fearless. And I kind of had to just own that. And this hat just like, what more audacious and kind of like, hey, look at me, you know, as an introvert than a star, and then put 3 of them on there. So I'm walking around like drawing this attention and just owning it and saying, look, if I can show up like this is how I view myself, so can you. So it's really, you know, I am trying to inspire other people to just step into their power. However they're viewing themselves in their mind, in their head, show up as it. And this is me. Like, this is so authentically me. In the past, if you see photos of me with like a tie on and sometimes I had to show up that way for work, but there were times where I was really watering myself down just to fit in. And life wasn't.
No more
life
of
wasn't
that.
fun. No more of that.
No more of that. We
And
don't do that here, as we say.
And that's how I connect with people like you, like that inspire me to continue on that journey. So
absolutely. Absolutely. Well, for those of you guys that are over, I'm streaming on TikTok at the same time that we're here as well, by the way. Tim has a few videos on TikTok. He's brand new to TikTok over on that realm. What's your name on TikTok, Tim? Do you remember?
Oh, you caught me. I am. Oh, you caught me.
We're gonna comment it down below. Or you can, even when you hop off here, come find me live on TikTok, and then people will be able to follow you right from there. But then that way, you guys make sure you go follow Tim, and make sure you pay attention to thebreakthroughshow.com for when Tim's gonna be on the Breakthrough Show.
Yeah.
Because he's fantastic. Thank you for coming on today, my friend. It was good to see you.
Oh, thank you so much for the opportunity. I absolutely love it. And I'm sorry it took me so long to get my butt up in the morning.
Anytime you feel the early bird taking over, you're welcome to come on and come rap with us in the morning.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tim. Good to see you. All right, you guys. So we are going to take a quick break, and we're going to be back in just a minute to finish up Project Joy today. Breakthroughs are about more than you might think. They're about discovering who you are, digging deep, reaching to the core of your soul. They're about healing yourself, understanding your beliefs, creating a ripple effect. And it's not just those initial moments that matter. It's about using them to bring more joy into our own lives and the lives of others. It's about having fun, letting loose, enjoying every moment life has to offer. It's about finding a safe space. It's about creating connection. Join us each and every month for exclusive programming, where we invite you to go beyond the breakthrough. So we ask you, are you ready? We'll see you online at thebreakthroughshow.com. Welcome back to Project Joy Live. I'm your host, Jessica Dugas, and I'm super excited to have you all here this morning. I want to give a shout out to some of the folks that have now see, Judith's gonna get a song stuck in my head. I have to shout out really quickly to Mr. Jackson. Mr. Jackson is my overachiever. Jester is another overachiever. They join me on TikTok and YouTube or Facebook every single Monday. And I just appreciate them so much. Tim Hodgkiss, it was fun to have you on today, my friend. Thank you for joining us. And I love how when people come on to share gratitude, that it really ties in so much to the topics that we talk about, because it all ties together. And I think you can see, especially if you go listen to the other episodes that have been on of Project Joy, specifically Project Joy podcast last year, and also Project Joy Live this year, you'll see how it all ties together. Everything ties together. We are capable of choosing joy in every moment if we want to, and if we choose to do it. Judith is going to get the song stuck in my head. Joy to the world, all the boys and girls now. Joy to the fishes in the deep blue sea. Joy to you and me. Now it's stuck in my head. Thank you for that, Judith. Thank you all for joining us today. We're going to be back next week for more of Project Joy Live. Don't forget the Breakthrough Show is on this Friday at 12 p.m. Central Time. We have Katerina Stomska, a returning guest on the Breakthrough Show, and also June Friend, who is an incredible rocker female vocalist. You guys are going to love her on the show on Friday. Make sure you check that out. You can find all of our show information at thebreakthroughshow.com about the Breakthrough Show, Project Joy, Rewriting Reality, Ask Crystal, and Throwback Thursday with myself and Kevin Kiley. So I will see you guys next week, same time, same place. And I want to remind you to not only make every day a great day for a breakthrough, but choose joy in your life today and every day. We'll see you next time, you guys. You've been listening to the Project Joy podcast with your host, Jessica Dugas. We'll see you again next Monday and every Monday for another episode to start your week off right.